What's up, guys? Sub-Zeric here, back for another VOD review. Today, we are VOD reviewing Wigwug because this guy basically just invented a new reroll comp. So you can see here, I threw Jinx plus Pyke into the TFT VOD library, and you can see Wigwug has 3 games on it. Chunnington has a game on it, though this is kind of a different, completely different setup here. This is more of this like Aurora reroll type stuff. And then everybody else playing anything similar. I mean, Greya played once like a month ago, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like an exalted adventure for a lot of these. Wigwug is the only player in the world playing this, and if you guys aren't familiar with Wigwug, this guy actually beasted on this season's TPC. He was 4th place overall in the regular season, just behind Soju, Darth Noob, and Dish Soap. So a huge rising star in the TFT community. Just to pull up the board itself here, this is the idea, is you roll for Jinx, Pyke, Gragas, and Pantheon. Kind of a mashup of this Jinx reroll line that plays around like Jax as your main tank, and the Pyke Gwen reroll line. These units fit together pretty well here. You can use Maokai plus Kindred to link up the Brawler front line with the Challenger for Jinx, then just get Riven in for Timebreaker and as a duo carry on this board, and then TK in as your 4th Brawler. So let's take a look, not in picture-in-picture mode, but in the actual VOD itself from Wigwug here. Also, yeah, 3 games on the day playing this. I think in his tweet he said he went 12th overall in the tournament, so finally did not make a final lobby. This guy made the last 2 final lobbies in TPC, and of course, the most important thing is he is a longtime viewer of the channel. Has been like years ago, he DM'd me talking about that he watched my videos and stuff. So, you know, if you're watching this video, maybe this can be your inspiration. You too can become a TPC player. The SZA VOD review to TPC player pipeline. We have at least one, which, I mean, honestly, is pretty good. So we see we do have target locks here, and we have this duplicator. So it's, you know, maybe a line that we could see here. It's certainly from 2-1. This is not something that Wigwug is thinking about playing. You know, if it was, maybe we'd hold on to the Pantheon here. But I don't think he's like really thinking, you know, that we're definitely going to play it from this spot. The Pantheon does seem like a very good hold here, so that we could potentially get an early Timebreaker opener, roll out of our silver options. We find Expedition, which is just kind of a broken augment. So we're going to take that. And we are going to play Expedition from the spot here. Pretty straightforward. You will see Wigwug do the thing that a lot of players normally do with Expedition, is they will, you know, just immediately start sacking their 3 costs, try to make as much gold as possible, but start immediately sacking. And he pops Anvil here, and he takes the bow here. And at this point, in Wigwug's mind, this is actually a Xayah game, right? We have 2 bows here in this spot. We have the red buff already. You would think that this would be a Xayah game. It would make a lot of sense to play Xayah from this spot, I would say. You know, there's certainly no reason why you shouldn't be able to play Xayah here. You can just lost streak very easily, get your extra bow, build your Krakens from here. You still have this extra Anvil open because it's Anvil Galaxy, and it's very easy to play a Xayah game from here. But Wigwug very much, you know, aggressively scouts stage 2 all the time. We actually do rotate into me first or 8th here, and we're gonna pick up a win here, which is gonna give us 1 XP, which probably isn't gonna do much for us because that is likely to be our only win this stage. But hey, you know, maybe we will see another win here against someone else who's full open. I'd be surprised. So that's probably just gonna be 1 wasted EXP. But the HP that we save isn't even bad. When you're playing Expedition, any win that you can get is nice because it's very easy for you to just, you know, 10 loss into your Expedition, which if you do that, you're going to be kind of low in general here, but at least we have this lost streak trait in the Timebreaker here, and, you know, hopefully we can kill some units. Not looking like it so far here. All right, going into Carousel here. I mean, Blood Pact. Oh, he does actually go for the. I think people just love these fake like these Thresh random options here. Blood Pact. It gives you a lot of, you know, econ, obviously, in a spot like this, which is something that you would like. But I think Wigwug's just saying, I can't afford the HP loss in this spot. I mean, also, I guess funny enough here, what did we get from the Thresh? It was just a bunch of gold anyway. So 7 gold, enter a Forager. You know, had we known that this was our option, you can say 7 gold, enter a Forager versus 8 gold and maybe lose some HP. You know, we'll take the 7 gold, enter a Forager. And that's decently likely to hit. The only other thing is, I'm pretty sure almost the whole lobby, yeah, I think the whole lobby here took Thresh just for the power of getting the random boon here. And the other thing is that, like, a lot of players want to lean towards getting the Thresh boon this game, right? Thresh boon, just in general, if you can make it there with enough HP, with the ability to, reach later into the game, is going to be better than Evelyn Boone. Just, give it a few rounds, print you some HP, print you some items. There's a lot of good stuff that you can get from Thresh Boone here. Gonna make the guard breaker here. Kind of an interesting slam, but just saying I need to get some of these items slammed and finished in this spot here. And it'll be decent enough on the Xayah. Still leaves the bow open, leaves sword open as well. And if he's thinking of this being a Xayah game, then you do not really need like the Last Whisper or anything like that, because you're going to have Aatrox, built into the comp that most people play. So yeah, going to continue to sack here. You can say Wigwug, though, he has this Pantheon too, and I think once he finds the Pantheon too, he's starting to think, maybe we can actually play this line here. Picks up the Jinx as well, and even the Diana, who can be a nice, just challenger onto this board. And I think at this point, he's really starting to say, okay, maybe I can actually play reroll from this spot here. I'm actually hitting a lot of the pieces to it. I even have the Gragas here. Like every single shop, it seems like he's picking up a piece of this reroll line, which we will talk about a little bit more once we get into the comp, just kind of like the why of this comp. Because I asked Wigwug about it. I was like, why would you play this comp? And he gave a great answer. Is this guy very, very thoughtful about this kind of stuff. So yeah, we pick up the Aurora too, actually, from minions, which is not bad at all. This is going to really accelerate Expedition. And we're going to crack this item and make the Kraken here. Kraken, a great item onto Jinx and onto Xayah. One of the nice things about this line is you can kind of just flex both very, very easily. Red buff Kraken is one of Jinx's best setups, and red buff Kraken is Xayah's best setup. So you basically always can, keep both of those open. We even have this extra Pantheon shop here, but I think even up until now, Wigwug's thinking it's still going to be a Xayah game. But here is what turns the game. It's kind of surprising, but it's a silver augment here. Recombob, Lunch Money, Twin Guardians. None of these look amazing to me. Twin Guardians would be okay, I think. But Wigwug sees on a roll in this spot and says, well, if you look at this board here, we actually have a lot of room to upgrade our units. The only upgrade that we've actually hit at this point is Pantheon here, but we're Gragas paired in this spot here. We have this Jinx here, and it makes a lot of sense to play into reroll from here. This is also essentially an econ augment in a spot where we've taken Expedition, and econ augment after Expedition always feels good to rebuild your economy. And so on a roll actually makes a lot of sense in this spot. So he's going to pick on a roll up here, and this is going to be the game plan. He's even going to level and start to roll a bit this round, though he's going to have to stop the second he finds something pretty okay. Yeah, I was going to say I was going to be surprised if he didn't fit the Jinx in here, but he does get it in last second. And so we get this onto the board here, and he still has the Ezreal in as just kind of like a nice item holder until we find the Jinx too. So yeah, gonna pop this item open. Gonna find Deathblade here, which is one of Jinx's best items. She just loves that raw AD with all the attack speed that she is getting from the challenger. So this is a really good setup. And yeah, he does just team planner out the board here. So he's gonna roll down here, pick up 2 upgrades, which is gonna give him some free rerolls. Gonna continue rolling here, finds the Kindred here. Actually has the Belveth in the planner here, even though that's usually not what goes onto the board. Even fits Akali onto this board, actually. So kind of flexing around and just picking up all the upgrades that he can find here. I'm going to slam all these items down. Pyke's actually going to get the DB. Oh yeah, I guess we have the target lock, so that could go into Jinx for now. It's a good item on Pyke, but it's also a good item onto Jinx. So I guess that'll be the question of how we finish it out. Like who ends up getting that? Just another random boon here, of course, going to be the pickup. And I think we must start looking for some tank items at this point. I mean, Chain can also even be Edge of Night potentially for Pyke, but I do think probably you need some tank items at some point this game. Having 6 damage items and no tank items is not what we would really like in this spot here. What did we get from oh, it was a bunch of free rerolls, it looks like. Yeah, 5 free rerolls from Thresh Boon. Okay, not too bad. And so we can continue to roll here. Or actually, I guess it was 4 free rerolls. And yeah, continue to roll here. Gonna sack the Rammus for our cash out. And I mean, we will have our Radiant item here. Okay, so we're kind of getting more into the board here. This is, straight up the version that Wigwug has team plannered. Where on 6 you actually just play 3 brawler. It's a tad bit awkward, but it still fits pretty nicely, and the Kindred really makes the Nova get active and actually makes sense on your board here. And wow, the very quick 3-star on the Pantheon is going to be amazing for our ability to actually have a front line this game. Continuing to roll down. Also surprised that he still has all this stuff in the planner. He's got a million things in planner here, and wow, look at the APM, look at the moves. Goes for the dupe, finds Jinx 3, and he's basically found the board. Still is pretty far off Pyke, and so it'll be interesting to see his prio on the rest of the board if he does want to, roll it down for Pyke. He is gonna Oh, I can't watch. I can't watch. I mean, Darth Noob here has the duplicator augment, has a blitzcrank already, has a vanguard. I mean, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna say? He's Wigwug is crashing out a little bit in in-game chat. Good to see he's got some resilient mental here, but yeah, so why would you play this setup here? Why would you play this over something like the Gwen setup, which is, you know, a much more well-trodden path? Well, one, I do think this Jinx unit, Prismatic Orb's actually not bad at all here, by the way. Radiant TG, you have a lot of units to itemize on this board. One, I think this Jinx unit is actually just kind of overtuned. When I've ever played around this unit in the, you know, straight up Jinx reroll version, the old, call it old school version, where you would play around the Jax or even Belveth and stuff like that, I always felt like this unit punched way above her weight class. It just always felt like a random Jinx 3 would just do an insane amount of damage. She's also a unit that wants a lot of support from her traits. Getting even an extra item from the Psionic that you're playing here is really, really nice to just get her very quickly to that 3 item. So the synergy is there. No way we're going to take to Call Decay. Jewel Lotus, actually. Yeah, I could see it here. We will pick this up here and finish out our augments, and Pyke is going to be an amazing pickup here as well. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Jewel Lotus, wowza. Okay. Yeah, you could definitely do that. It makes a lot of sense on this board. You have 2 TGs. You have the spell, the crit from both of those TGs is going to, you know, manifest into spell crit with the Jeweled Lotus. You also do not have spell crit on this Jinx. Normally, you know, if you're playing that other old school version of the board, you have a Kali on this board, but on that board, but you're not going to play a Kali onto this board. And the spell crit's kind of nice on Jinx, just allowing her, a lot of her damage does come from her rocket, so that's really nice. And we have no IE for Pyke, so this is really the perfect augment that we can get here. He is going to swap some items over here at this point, going to move the target lock over to Pyke, one of his best items, and then Guardbreaker. Kind of surprised that this is the item distribution, Guardbreaker on Pyke, even though you would think that he would not be amazing at proccing it, but I think he just wants that raw AD, like we talked about earlier, onto the Jinx. The raw AD is just so good. This fight's a little scary, though. Jinx can do this thing. Yep, that thing where she just deletes a unit. It's like the ASOL thing, where if a melee unit walks in front of Jinx, the missiles that she shoots just hit the first target. So if a melee unit walks in front of her, she will just absolutely delete that unit. Imagine it's just the left. Oh, really? I guess this has the upside of seeing something like a Tahm Kench or a Riven or a Kindred, and it's basically the same amount of gold for -3 HP. Okay, honestly, yeah, this is genius. Very, very smart pickup from Wigwug here. And he does get the Riven. He gets rewarded here. Beautiful, actually. So he can level, play this on the board here, get the Time Breaker. Yeah, I mean, this makes perfect sense. And then he gets to make Even Shroud here. We're not playing Aatrox on this board because it just doesn't really fit. So we do need that Armor Shred onto the board. Okay, I interrupted myself a million times, but the last thing I want to say about why this comp makes sense, why Jinx Pyke as a duo setup, you can think of it almost similarly to the Pyke plus Gwen setup, where Pyke will oftentimes dash to backline, get units really, really low, sometimes one shot, but sometimes leave them a little low, just like one hit, and then Gwen will oftentimes follow up, but she's very, very inconsistent. One thing that Jinx will do, if you just watch this units in fights, is oftentimes she'll shoot a few rockets that'll end up splashing backline a little bit. She'll shoot a bunch at her main target, and then a few extra rockets. You can see that damage onto Teemo there was all this Jinx. She will actually do a lot of damage to backline, and so this is why you often would see stuff like Jinx plus Belveth, right? Jinx plus Belveth, Jinx, you know, will tickle the backline a little bit, and then Belveth can end up killing frontline and then dashing to backline. Pyke is that, but on steroids. That is Pyke. That's what Pyke does every single chance he gets, is he will, you know, dash to backline and kill everything. Really need to look for a Pantheon item here, and we get it. We get the Gargoyle here. Very, very solid item onto Pantheon. A little low on the HP on Pantheon. Do not have like a real HP item onto this guy, but all good. I mean, items is items on this guy, and we also want the ability to have some MR on this guy. We're also potentially gonna get some HP down the line from Thresh Orbs, so that'll be really, really nice here. We get, an extra component here. So smart on Wigwug to wait before slamming here, because he knows it's possible for us to get an extra component here from Thresh, and that can change your slams. Sadly, we reforge and get double Even Shroud, which is not the best, but honestly, it's not much worse. I think we had BT slam before, so honestly, it's better than the BT, so I think you can't be too mad about it. But now we've reached the board, we've reached the cap of hitting everything, and we've reached really, really good Comet augments, and you see now this this kind of strange thing that starts to happen where it's like, wait a minute, we're on a 6-win streak here. You guys remember, when I VOD reviewed this Pyke comp in the past, the issue with Pyke Gwen is always the lack of consistent DPS. Pyke can dash to backline and kill some units, but if he doesn't do that, you are not winning the fight. Well, Jinx gives you exactly what Pyke is missing there, that consistent DPS. So now you're in a situation where a board like this, Pyke did not dash to backline in this fight until basically the fight was over. His first cast just ran into frontline here, but it was totally fine because Jinx plus Pyke just destroyed the frontline in a few seconds. And so it's actually super, super easy for these guys to win fights where otherwise, the old school Pyke board would not win. You can also see it's kind of interesting. Wigwug is opting not to really part the seas completely, just kind of forcing them to clump around the Pantheon. This positioning can work as well. You can see the Pyke does end up getting stuck there, but this second cast should go to backline, and boom, it does here. It's a pretty strong board from Ladder Slayer, but honestly, this Jinx unit, pretty good, but not good enough here. Yeah, Ladder Slayer's board is just crazy in this spot here, so we are going to sadly pick up an L there, but not the end of the world. But yeah, like this combination of units is really, really nice and can honestly win fights that otherwise you would end up losing a lot of the time. Take Warmogs here. We do not need any kind of heal cut or armor shred. We've finished both of those, and MR shred is just not really necessary on this board here. So just a solid enough tank item on to the Maokai. I'm kind of surprised he keeps the Even Shroud on the Pantheon, but I think his idea is maybe it's going to mess with our positioning too much if we were to move this down and like swap a Warmogs on there or something. Another strong board here, LeBlanc, but gets completely deleted by the 17,000 damage from the Jinx. Now we can finally level up here, get our next in. 4 Brawlers good on this board, but the Rost does a great job as well. 5 trait Rost is good here, especially because you're playing around this Brawler board as well. So no reason not to play this Rost on this board. All right, rotate into... We don't have the double trouble, the 2 tanky, but 2 tanky at home from me first or 8th here is just playing the double Samiras for the love of the game because he has the items for it and is taking another loss here. And don't panic, but look at the lobby HP. Wigwug's 32 HP here. It's the end of stage 5. He's first place in HP, and it doesn't look like anyone's actually out-capping him this game. No one has hit stuff like Orin 3 or anything like that. I mean, it's looking like he's capping high enough to actually win the lobby, and this is the strangely, deceptively strong thing about this comp is that it caps so high. This Jinx unit, I really feel like this unit is like a secret 3 cost. 3-star Jinx feels amazing when you play around her, and we've made it there. The Pyke does a great job of just stealing some fights that you would otherwise normally lose. Now we are going to do the Part the Seas positioning here to try to snipe out this LeBlanc, and we beautifully get it. Perfect positioning from Wigwug here to snipe backline. That's going to be a win here. 1st or 8th is going to win that fight. So we got one more fight potentially, and we can just chill here. We also swapped the Thomas Kenshin onto this board here so that we can get the 4 Brawler. It's just so much effective tankiness, but we do also have the Rost on bench here, which can just be our next in here. Gonna part the seas again here, put everything on the left side, try to pull the stuff to the right side. Actually, I mean, Pyke ends up in an okay spot here and does actually dash to the left side here. Beautiful. And then Pyke's gonna clear the rest of the board, and it's a dub. He typed in chat. Wait, let me go back here to see this. He undeafens. I don't know if he typed this in chat, but he just typed it out in his chat here. TFT is beautiful. You love to see it. You love to see the love for the game from someone like from Wigwug, who, I mean, he's just had an amazing season, and and with all the negativity that exists about TFT, sometimes you love to see somebody saying TFT is beautiful. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think about this comp. Go try it out in your games and let me know how it goes, and if it goes poorly, then blame Wigwug. But like, honestly, the comp looked really solid this game. Not to say that this is a comp that is always going to go first, but it does seem like a fantastic variation on this Pyke reroll that, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to exist. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will, of course, have Wigwug's link in the description down below, so go check that guy out. He is an absolute beast and one of my favorite up-and-coming players. I mean, my favorite, straight up, my favorite up-and-coming TFT player, because this guy is such a hard worker, is so great at the game. I mean, puts a lot of effort into the game, doing mathematical calculations. I mean, he's just one of the hardest workers in the TFT scene, and so you should go check him out for sure. All right, I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching as always. Bye-bye.